All right, today's Wednesday. I wanted to go over some paperwork. A few days ago I put up a video addressing a emergency protection order by Jeremy's wife and daughter. It was for the daughter, by the way. At the time, it was granted by the judge. And the outcome is what I'm going to give you, the decree of the judge from this. And if you remember, it was only a few days ago, Jeremy had said this thing has been dismissed. And I hope all of you understand what the conditions of the dismissal are. There are conditions. And some of you may have not understood that there were. So, I'm going to try to give it to you by what's on the court order itself. I do have it in front of me. It says, based upon the foregoing, it is hereby ordered, adjudged, and decreed, okay, that any and all pending motions of the parties are hereby voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. Without prejudice means the court can bring this back up at any time. Now, above this, it says the court has been notified that the parties have reached an agreement, okay, with respect to plaintiff's motion, the upcoming review, hearing, and related orders that resolves all the issues presently before the court. The court hereby finds that both parties believe their agreement to be in the best interest of their daughter, based upon the present circumstances and each party's acknowledgement. This agreement is in their daughter's best interest. The court hereby finds the parties' proposed agreement to be responsible or reasonable and in the child's best interest. Based upon the foregoing, it is hereby ordered, adjudged, and decreed that, okay? And then the first one that I just read to you is part of it. Any and all pending motions of the parties are hereby voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. Now, this is upon the agreement that they had made, and here is the agreement. In other words, this now has become law. The defendant, that's Jeremy Hales, shall have no further contact with his daughter unless said contact is explicitly initiated by his daughter. Now, instead of saying his daughter, actually, it has her name in there. And the reason I didn't use it, she is still a minor. This whole thing was done back when she was 14. Today she would be, I believe, 17. She was born, I believe, in 2008. These are all opinions based on documentation I've seen up to at this time. So now we know that his daughter has got approved by a judge and put into law the initial thing that she wanted, and that was to be left alone by her father. Now, here comes the second part. Any prior orders requiring his daughter to participate in counseling, whether individually or jointly with others, are hereby vacated. In other words, the court-ordered counselors are no longer in force. It's not going to happen. There's no more where she will have to meet face-to-face with her father and go through what would be considered by what was presented to the courts on this for the emergency protection order was almost like a form of torture to her. and that she was exhibiting PTSD, and it was not getting better, it was getting worse because of the sessions. Okay. So everybody here is agreeing to, they're going to leave this in her hands, which is what she wanted in the very first place. So when anybody thinks about this being dismissed, it was only dismissed if all parties agreed to these items. Okay? Let's go on with this now. Each party will be responsible for their respective attorney fees incurred herein. Number 5, the final hearing presently scheduled for October 4th, 2022 is hereby canceled. In other words, there's no reason to go forward because it's already agreed upon. And by the way, this is an order. This isn't something that just floats out there and goes away. No. Now, number 6, any outstanding court costs herein shall be paid by the defendant. Mr. Hales is the defendant. He has to pay the court costs. Any other prior orders issued by this court not inconsistent with the orders set forth above shall remain in full force and effective, and it is so ordered. So anybody that thought that this thing, part of the truth is, yes, the PO was dismissed. If this was agreed upon, they agreed upon it, and it was ordered by the courts, by the judge. Is there any misunderstanding by any of you out there what just happened? Do you see an end date on any of this? I don't think so. I didn't see one on here. Do you? Anyway, you put it back in the hands of his daughter, whether she wants to correspond in any way in the future. And that's the way it should be. Should have never been any other way. It was, according to the documents, she suffered because of what she was having to go through that was ordered by the courts, by the way. And apparently it must have been agreed upon by the parents in some way. A lot of fighting went on over this, but it was settled in 2022. So for all of you out there that are still floating out there thinking that was that the emergency contact order was wrong or something, the things that were asked for were given with no end date. The judge handed it over to the daughter and said, it's up to you. And you no longer have to go to counseling. It's not going to be demanded. You are free to do this one way or the other. Neither parent can have dominion over what you're going to say or do as far as any further contact with your father. So there you go, folks. Some of you were mad at me for saying anything about it, and yet this shows you what actually went on, what is still out there, and the fact that protection order was enacted on. There was no date given to the final part of this. It was ordered by the judge that these things be followed. So be it. Amen, brother. Okay, now for the people out there that continually bring light of day to this court case, or all court cases involved with this fella, I would like to give them a pat on the back because they all are out there working diligently to try to bring some justice into the scales that have been overwhelmed with financial burden and influence. And that they've all been working very hard on behalf of Michelle, John, and little Harley. No one wants to forget about two leaves in a pod. I said all along that it is the little channel with the big hearts. And it is. And that includes everybody that subs to that channel, has helped out, and donated towards the well-being of John and Michelle and little Harley. Presented them with a privacy fence, with a Christmas that any child would dream of, and the happiness that it brought to Harley. And now that they've started on the home, on the interior, the exterior was already completed. There's a barn dominium. It's common structure that is put on a piece of property, and then with the people finishing the interior, people worried about the structural integrity. This building cannot be sold without the proper engineering that was done on it for the area that it's put in the first place by law. So there you go. The structure meets all code requirements of the state of Florida, which is some of the toughest standards in the United States outside of California. Now, the people besides two leaves in the pod, no one wants to forget about Tori. She's been on there from the very beginning trying to help this family out. Kelsey, Robbie Kelsey, he's been a big part of it. He knows what's going on with Jeremy, or what has gone on with him. Is they've been, actually did some videos together. He knows him very well. He's under attack by Mr. Hales at this point. Let's see. How about Super Dave? Oh, yeah, he's part of it for sure. And he's a reporter that has tried very hard to be unbiased, but it's pretty hard to be unbiased when you're under attack. Now, he's been under attack for over a year, closer to 2. He was one of the first ones to take notice of what was going on, and has continually backed John and Michelle from the very beginning. So, a big shout out. There's also some newcomers there. John Volpe, Richard Thurman. They have a show of their own, and they've been getting documentation together and showing it, explaining it out. They've been a huge factor in trying to bring things to the light of day. I recommend their channel to you. And nobody can forget Bruce Maskin. Bruce, I commend you and give you a pat on the back for all you've gone through and your family. You have a tremendous wife that has stuck by you every second of the way and been under attack by those that have followed Jeremy. In fact, your wife apparently had to leave her job, and we all know why. Apparently, the boss was contacted. Her schedule of events was so noted and doxed on the channel. Your young daughter, a minor, has been noted on there and things said about her. And you've been on there. You've been attacked for your physicalities, your religion, and your race. And then attacked because of your intelligence. Although they call it a lack of intelligence, I'm afraid really is because your high intelligence, the only reason you were attacked. I would say the low factor on intelligence belongs to Jeremy's failures, followers. Slip of the tongue sometimes brings out the truth. Well, everything that I've got on here that I've come this part, has been opinions. And what really gets to me is how close my opinions have been. And in the last week or so, we've had two versions of IA going over some documentation of Mr. Hales calling him out. And those things, and you can see them out there, by the way. Matter of fact, Super Dave would be glad to show you one of them. We've got some other people that are working on it too, and I'm going to let them bring it up on their channels. I'll try to keep you posted of what's going on there if I can. We've got a new person that has come out there, and I say we. I don't know her personally. I had nothing to do with her coming around. But she had noted this case and was doing some inquiries, and people have done their best to help her out with information, and she also has something to say about it. So she's up and coming. I'm going to list her name the next time I'm up on here. And I don't have the contact for her in front of me, but I will get that for you so that you can see it. And Guapo has had a lot to do with bringing the light up for all of us as well. He's had a long-standing relationship with Jeremy. And he has been attacked by Jeremy, including being threatened with lawsuits. My understanding is sometime in the future he'll be a part of it. There's been other things that Jeremy's attacked him on. I guess we'll see the fruit of it one way or the other. In fact, it hadn't been that long ago, on one of his live shows, he attacked his significant other, George, and threatened her family with lawsuit, and claimed at that time blood and family mean nothing, that if he so believes that they have trespassed against him and he decides to sue him, he's going to do it. And if she didn't like it, it was tough. He was going to do it anyway. Now, during that conversation, at the end, she got walked off, but and said that she would no longer be a part of the. If he actually followed through the lawsuit, she would not help him with any others. And she was all done. But she's still there. So they must have worked something out. But I would like to show you something else. If you stay associated with people that are very negative and doing things that are very wrong, it can show on you. And I want to prove it. Here's what I'd like you to do. I would like you to go back on his show, and I would like you to do one thing for me. Look at George 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and in the last couple of weeks. And tell me if you see a progression of a difference in the smiles, in the personal upkeep. Does anything seem to be in disarray, or do you see things that have changed drastically in 3 years? But what I will tell you is this. If you hang around somebody long enough, their habits will be displayed on you, not only physically, but in what you say. So here again, I would ask you to go back 3 years ago. Listen to her when she talks. Do it again in 2 years, 1 year, and today. And see if you see or hear anything hateful. And what has happened in those few years to make a person change to that extent. Now, when you're around them on a daily basis, you don't see it as much. But when you see it displayed over a course of years, and when you look at it, take a spot shot, it becomes very upfront, and you see it. With that, I'm going to let you go. I'll come back with another one soon. My opinion is all I offer, and hopefully you can form your own. So there you go. Ta-ta.